Alright guys, if you want to learn more about this scope, check out the links below. There's also some coupon codes attached to save you a few bucks, which I think is pretty cool. It helps out the channel, so I appreciate that if you use them. Without further ado, check it out. What's going on, guys? Back at the range today with another scope. Can you believe it? I feel like I've turned into like the scope guy on accident. You guys know I like plinking. You know I got my Ruger 22 Precision. I've done a bunch of stuff with this. I built it up, a bunch of videos, testing out different things. A company called DiscoveryOPT reached out to me and said, hey, do you want to check out our scope? You know I'm not a guy that's crazy into long distance shooting, but I like good kit. And for my Ruger 22, this scope I feel like is a perfect match if I wasn't looking to do like day night you see me do before. So just a regular scope. So this one is the ED PRS Gen II 5-25 by 56 SFAR first focal plane Z. It's a mouthful, but it seems like a pretty solid scope. Let's see. Look at the reticle there. That's what you're getting. What I really like is it seems like a really comprehensive kit. They just really kit you out with this thing. You get a scope leveling kit. You get a set of scope rings. You get a wipe cloth. You get the directions, the quality control stuff. You get a really nice looking like camera lens, brush, and wipe pen. You get the throw lever for your optical zoom. You just really get everything. It's also illuminated, so the center is illuminated. We'll check out and see how well that does in daytime bright, how bright it actually gets. But it seems to be pretty bright. At least let me put it on the highest setting. Now today is a miserable day at the range. It's rainy. This goes all the way up to 6. So 6 in this overcast day, no sun. It's just overcast, foggy, rainy. It's bright. It gives me adequate brightness. Now it's going to be brighter in the dark, but I'm getting plenty of light in this overcast day. Now, a fully bright sunny day, I may not. It's not that bright, but it's perfect for nighttime, low light, and anything like overcast like this. I'm getting no issues. What I also like about it is it has a lot of adjustments, a lot of features that you really a lot of times only see in really high-end scopes. Like it has a rev stop for your zeros, which is nice. This particular version is the one you have to remove the top, you drop the lug into the interface on your zero, and then that's where your rev stop is going to be. So if you set it in for 25 or 100 or whatever you're doing, drop it in on that, and then you can quickly return to zero on that zero and not have any guesswork. So that's nice, and usually when I see that with scopes that are big bucks. And so this is, I would consider this a budget scope in the way that it's not something that you would say is going to be $1,000+ dollars. You're looking at anywhere between $400 to $550 on these guys, but that falls in line with like scopes like Vortex. Now, my original scope I had on this was a Vortex. It was one of their lower end models because I didn't need anything crazy for the type of shooting I was going to do. That 100 to 200, 300 yards probably max on the 22 on this setup. So I really didn't need anything crazy. But this scope being just a little bit more expensive than that Vortex I had, and I can't remember the model, Crossfire maybe, I can't remember. One of their lower budget entry level ones. To be a couple $100 more to get the rev stop, to get the illumination, to get all the stuff you get in the kit is just phenomenal for me, and the value you get is there. Before we start shooting, I will touch on something else. So the scope rings that are on this were a separate piece. I'm not using the ones that it came with. These are a really high, a high set ring. This is a 34 millimeter scope body, so that's nice. A little extra light you're getting in there. I opted for ones that they make that are a little better quality. These are 70-75 aluminum, again 34 mil, and they are a 1.26 inch riser. I didn't want to go too high, even though I had the adjustability on the scope, but these scope rings are better quality than the ones that come in the kit. Still made by them. It's still their brand or their company that makes these scope rings. They're just a little bit better quality than the ones that you're getting in the kit. So I would recommend, if you're looking for a scope like this, or even just scope rings in general, I found that these ones are really robustly built, great quality. But what I like about everything on this scope and what this company's doing is their label and everything. So some people might not like that. They think it gets too busy with the wording and lettering all over the place. But I appreciate not having to address the manual for certain things that I might be looking for. Like it says plain as day how many foot-pounds of torque to put on these screws for the scope mount. It just gives you all that information, you know, on how to tighten them 1, 2, 3, 4. It gives you that designation on the scope ring. So for people who are new to shooting, want a budget shoot, want a budget build, and still get some good quality, which I feel like this is, then you have that, and there's no guesswork, and you don't have to try to ruffle through some manual. So that being said, let's take some shots. I'll give you my overall impressions, but so far, build quality out of the box. I have not shot with it yet. I've not even zeroed this yet. I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to zero it today because it's pouring down rain and my target has already fallen off the backstop downrange. So let's just take some shots and let's see how it goes. Let's load her up. 100 yards. I'm on the standard 5x zoom. I'm going to throw her over. Now the scope adjuster, I'm glad it comes with the handle because it is stiff, but it's nice because I don't want to have to worry about it moving on me by accident. 25, at 25, oh my God, my hands are so cold, I can't even turn this thing. What's also nice is your parallax adjustment is on the side, same side as the illumination. It goes from all the way down to 25 all the way up to infinity. So you got 25, I think it hits 50, 200, 500, and then infinity. So that's nice, you don't have to worry about adjusting all the way up at the front. So I like that being there. My hands are so cold right now, Jesus. I'm gonna knock this back down to about 21 times zoom. Let's see what this looks like. Take a shot. Really foggy down at 100 yards. I'm still getting a really good picture, sight picture out of this scope. The glass is really clear. My hands, I can't feel my hands. At the top of the scope, where you're adjusting, it says how many clicks equals how many MRAD. So on the top, it says 1 click equals 0.1 MRAD. So 10 clicks will be 1 full adjustment. So you get those fine tunings in with that on the up and down and the left and right. So to really dial in that precision there, I like that feature, how it tells you exactly how many clicks is what without having to address a manual. So that's pretty slick. So it also comes with an optional sunshade. I had it on. But since it's kind of overcast, I want to get as much light as possible, so I took it off. But man, it is really foggy down there at 100. The sunshade did help taking it off. I'm going to step it over to 50. See. The glass is really clear, guys. Like it's really nice. it's a nice setup. When it's a nicer day and my hands aren't freezing cold, I'm gonna have to really get out here and try to dial it in. But just on some quick on-the-fly adjustments, not writing anything down, just trying to get as close as possible at 50 yards. I like the oversized knobs. This parallax is tight, man. I think this is my hands. My hands are so cold I can't really squeeze it. But it's not that tight. My hands are just so cold I can't squeeze it. Something else I want to mention that is labeled on the scope and is noted in the books is it's tracking guaranteed on these. They claim that it's guaranteed return to zero on tracking, and from what I've seen, it is that. So for a scope that you're paying $400 or $500 for, to get all these features and the quality that's built in with the glass and all that I'm seeing, versus some other lower end stuff, and I would say this is, for being a not what you would think of as a name brand in the firearms world, something that's on Amazon, which doesn't say a whole lot because there's big brands that sell on Amazon. So don't let an Amazon sold company turn you off, because what I've found, and my honest opinion, is you get a lot of value out of this scope, a lot of features that you don't get on scopes at this price point, at that like around $500, sub $500, you know, $400 to $600 price point. You don't get a lot of these features a lot of times. Alright guys, so that wraps up the video on the DiscoveryOPT scope. This thing has been really nice for me. I'm going to be honest with you. I always want to look out for cool kit and inexpensive, good quality stuff. And you know I'm not a long distance shooter, you know, I don't do it a lot. But what you get out of this scope at the price point you get, you're getting a lot of features that you don't always see in something at this price point. That $300 to $450, even up to $500, and this isn't even that much. You get a lot of cool features with this, and I don't see why you couldn't use this on bigger calibers than a 22. I'm sure this could certainly handle 308s, 5.56s. I just don't have precision rifles set up for that. The 22 is where this thing is going to stay. So I really think they did a great job on this. Everything out of the box, the whole kit, everything it comes with is just a great value for what you're getting. And I'll do an update down the line if I've had any problems with this, but I don't foresee any problems. Everything just seems to be really nicely made, and I'm glad they thought of me to send it out and see how it works. Same thing with the scope rings. These upgraded scope rings by them are sturdy, solid. No issues with those. I like all the notings on there about how many inch pounds and all that stuff for the newer shooters who don't maybe not know how to do that, or that they should do that. So I really think overall this whole package is great. All right, guys, don't forget Steve MP5 on the Instagrams. I'll see you next time.